All right, if everybody can go ahead and wrap up their schooling, we're going to begin shortly. Up first, we have Arya Mistwood on WH Sour Patch Sweetheart, and on deck, we have Evelyn Holloway on Ask the Judge. Writer, you may begin whenever you're ready. That was Arya Mistwood with a time of 41:87 and 0 faults. Up next, we have Evelyn Holloway on Ask the Judge, and on deck, we have Sophie Gladerain on GRL Wandering Dawn. Writer, you may enter whenever you're ready. All right, that was Evelyn Holloway with a time of 43:85 and 0 faults. Up next, we have Sophie Gladerain on GRL Wandering Dawn, and on deck, we have Callie Long with PSS Topsy Turvy. Ryder, you may begin whenever you're ready. All right, that was Sophie Gladerain with a time of 44:49 and 0 faults. Up next, we have Callie Long with PSS Topsy Turvy, and on deck, we have Lily West on Snow is the Best Remedy. Ryder, you may begin whenever you're ready. That was Callie Long with a time of 46:32 and 0 faults. Up next, we have Lily West on Snow is the Best Remedy. And on deck, we have Aspen Sungale with Left for Denver. Ryder, you may begin whenever you're ready. Okay, that was Lily West with a time of 42:35 and 4 faults. Up next, we have Aspen Sungale with Left for Denver. And on deck, we have Nat Ashford on TWA Proof in the Pudding. Ryder, you may enter whenever you're ready. That was Aspen Sungale with a time of 41:89 and 0 faults. Up next, we have Nat Ashford on TWA Proof in the Pudding. And on deck, we have Brooke Holloway with BH South of Sanity. Ryder, you may begin whenever you're ready. That was Nat Ashford with a time of 38:48 and 0 faults. Up next, we have Brooke Holloway on BH South of Sanity. And on deck, we have Montana Raven Song with Blush of Sakura Skies. Ryder, you may begin whenever you're ready. That was Brooke Holloway with a time of 37:65 and 2 faults. Up next, we have Montana Raven Song on Blush of Sakura Skies. And on deck, we have Adeline Pine Stream with SW's River Dash. That was Montana Raven Song with a time of 40:29 and 2 faults. Up next, we have Adeline Pine Stream on SW's River Dash. And on deck, we have Claire Lakehart with ST Jessamine. That was Adeline Pine Stream with a time of 41:93 and 0 faults. Up next, we have Claire Lakehart with ST Gethsemane. And on deck, we have Melanie Song with TWA Divine Intervention. All right, that was Claire Lakehart with a time of 39:57 and 0 faults. Up next, we have Melanie Song on TWA Divine Intervention. And on deck, we have Annabelle Baker on Confessional. Ryder, you may begin whenever you're ready. That was Melanie's Song with a time of 40:59 and 0 faults. Up next, we have Annabelle Baker with Confessional, and on deck, we have Lenora Barnes on Vibranium 66. Ryder, you may begin whenever you're ready. That was Annabelle Baker with a time of 38:36 and 2 faults. Up next, we have Lenora Barnes with Vibranium 66. And on deck, last rider of the evening, we have Lydia Stormwood with BH Danger Zone MHE. That was Lenora Barnes with a time of 41:88 and 0 faults. Our last rider is Lydia Stormwood with BH Danger Zone MHE. And that was Lydia Stormwood with a time of 40:11 and 0 faults. If you will give us just a second, we will let you know your clear placing and jump off order. So for the placings on our clear round, in 11th place we had Callie Long. In 10th we had Sophie Glade-Rain. 9th was Evelyn Holloway. 8th we have Adeline Pinestream. 7 was Aspen Sungale. 6th was Lenora Barnes. 5th was Arya Mistwood. 4th was Melanie Song. In 3rd, we had Lydia Stormwood. 2nd, we had Claire Lakehart. And in 1st, we had Nat Ashford. Congrats, everybody, on the clear round, and good job with your schooling. So our first up will be Arya Mistwood with WH Sour Patch Sweetheart. And on deck, we have Evelyn Holloway with Ask the Judge. That was Arya Mistwood with a time of 14.2 and 0 faults. Up next, we have Evelyn Holloway on Ask the Judge, and on deck we have Sophie Glade Rain on GRL Wandering Dawn. That was Evelyn Holloway with a time of 16:32 and 4 faults. Up next, we have Sophie Glade Rain on GRL Wandering Dawn, and on deck, we have Callie Long with PSS Topsy Turvy. That was Sophie Glade Rain with a time of 18:01 and 4 faults. Up next, we have Callie Long on PSS Topsy Turvy. And on deck, we have Aspen Sun Gale on left for Denver. That was Callie Long with a time of 18:23 and 0 faults. Up next, we have Aspen Sungale on left for Denver. And on deck, we have Nat Ashford on TWA Proof in the Pudding. That was Aspen Sungale with a time of 14:48 and 2 faults. Up next, we have Nat Ashford on TWA Proof in the Pudding. And on deck, we have Adeline Pine Stream with SW's River Dash. That was Nat Ashford with a time of 13:44 and 0 faults. Up next, we have Adeline Pine Stream on SW's River Dash. And on deck, we have Claire Lakehart on ST Gethsemane. That was Adeline Pine Stream with a time of 15:39 and 2 faults. Up next, we have Claire Lakehart on ST Gethsemane. And on deck, we have Melanie Song with TWA Divine Intervention. That was Claire Lakehart with a time of 13:49 and 2 faults. Up next, we have Melanie Song with TWA Divine Intervention, and our final rider for the evening will be Lydia Stormwood with BH Danger Zone MHE. Rider, you may begin whenever you're ready. That was Melody Song with a time of 13.5 and 0 faults. Our final writer is Lydia Stormwood with BH Danger Zone MHE. That was Lydia Stormwood with a time of 16.77 and 2 faults. If you give us just a moment, we will get your final placings. I just want to say thanks again to everyone for coming tonight. We do have your final placings. In 8th place, we have Arya Mistwood. In 7th place, we have Lydia Stormwood. In 6th, we have Adeline Pinestream. In 5th place, we have Aspen Sungale. In 4th place, we have Claire Lakehart. In 3rd place, we have Callie Long. In 2nd place, we have Melanie Song. And 1st place, we have Nat Ashford. Our reserve champ for the night is Melanie Song, with our champion being Nat Ashford. Congratulations, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. Big applause to all of you.